Marvel 2-in-1 is a comic book series that was published in the Bronze Age, featuring Ben Grimm, also known as The Thing. Each issue would find The Thing teamed up with another character from the Marvel Universe. The special Christmas issue number 74, released in December 1980, with a cover date of April 1981, was to include the supervillain Puppet Master. This festive story, entitled Christmas Peril, starts with Ben Grimm in Bloomingdale's doing some last-minute Christmas shopping with his girlfriend, Alicia Masters, along with two other members of the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Arriving back at the Baxter Building, headquarters of the Fantastic Four, Ben wonders why they are having to do all these menial errands for Christmas, when Alicia points out that it's much more fun doing it yourself, as they set about wrapping the Christmas presents they have bought. Alicia asks Ben if he remembered to send out the Christmas cards, to which Ben thinks sending one to her and the Fantastic Four is enough. She tells him to get into the Christmas spirit and foster goodwill by sending one to her stepfather, so the Thing decides to send one to the old geezer. That old geezer happens to be Philip Masters, known as the supervillain Puppet Master, who is in the process of being paroled from Rikers Island prison. As the prison guard returns his personal possessions, he is also given a Christmas card. As the police boat drops him off at the dock, there is no one to meet him as the falling snow starts to turn into sleet. With the boat heading back to the penitentiary, his face breaks into a hideous grin as the Puppet Master is once more at large. Like a rat, he scurries through the city back to his secret workshop, formulating a plan to fashion more puppets to control his victims. But upon opening his safe, the radioactive clay used to make his puppets has decayed, becoming soft, runny and useless. The only source of this special clay is in the Balkans, and he does not have the resources to get there. Then he remembers the Christmas card. Opening it, he sees it is from Benjamin Grimm and starts to formulate an audacious plan. Back at the Baxter Building, the Thing starts to greet the guests arriving for the Fantastic Four Christmas celebration. As the Thing shows Quasar and his fiancée Janine into the party, they see Aquarian in the centre of the room. As guests share food and drinks together, they are treated to Christmas carols played on a piano, as Reed Richards ensures that everyone's glass is topped up. Quasar and Janine greet their old friend Aquarian, as the doorbell sounds again. How could this be, as all the invited guests have arrived? Switching to the lobby monitor, they see Philip Masters. Alicia, who is blind, recognises the voice as her father's, but Ben sees him for what he is, the supervillain Puppet Master. Philip Masters confirms that he has been released from prison for good behaviour. Alicia asks Ben to let him in. She is overjoyed to see her stepfather, who says that he has done his time and is a reformed man. The Thing tells him not to make any trouble, and thinks this is what you get for sending the Puppet Master a Christmas card. Dr. Richards welcomes Mr. Masters to the party. Then later, as presents are given out by little Franklin Richards, the boy notices that there is not one for Alicia's stepfather. He offers him one of his own, but he politely declines and wishes he could take a trip to Europe to revisit the place he was born for Christmas. Franklin asks his dad if they could give this gift to Mr. Masters. So on Christmas morning, Ben agrees to take Philip and Alicia Masters to her father's homeland of Transia in the Balkans. The supersonic pogo plane soars into the wintry sky on its Christmas gift mission. 7 hours later, the silver plane descends into the breathtaking Balkan mountains, setting down in a cornfield near the village. Alicia is excited at seeing her father's birthplace, as is Philip Masters, but for much more sinister reasons. The three weary travellers make their way to the inn and book rooms for the night. The innkeeper comments that they do not get many Amerikaners staying in these parts, particularly not in winter. Bidding them a pleasant stay, they retire to their rooms. Alicia senses her father is excited about being here, but not for the reason she thinks. Less than an hour passes when a wary figure steals out the front door of the inn in search of the location in the forest where Puppet Master first discovered the radioactive clay. For hours he searches, until arriving at the base of the mountain, he starts to dig. The villagers never venture up here as they believe it is haunted, which is why no one else has found this special clay. Feeling that he is close to his goal, he suddenly hears a noise, and looking up he is confronted by two giant wooden toy soldiers. What could they want, and who sent them? The next morning Alicia goes to check on her father, but he is not in his room, and the bed doesn't look like it has been slept in. They go down to the innkeeper, but he has no idea where Mr. Masters is. The Thing realises he should have put a coat on, as his orange rocky appearance almost scares the innkeeper to death. After breakfast, Ben and Alicia go in search of her stepfather. Asking around, they are pointed in the direction of an old woman on the hill, who knows everything that goes on in these parts. Arriving at the cottage, Ben thinks it's odd that it almost looks like a gingerbread house, as they politely ask the woman who answers the door if she has seen Mr. Masters. She invites Ben and Alicia into her cottage and introduces herself as Bulver and her ward Mordred, who thinks the Thing looks like a bad man. Keeping her face covered, she explains that from her vantage point, no one matching her stepfather's description has been seen. Then, revealing herself, Ben is surprised to see that she looks like a cow. Bulver says that she was once a cow, but the High Evolutionary changed her into a humanoid form for the sole purpose of nurturing others like her. Then one day, Mordred the Mystic came to stay, a victim of demonic possession that left him simple-minded. Ben recalls the High Evolutionary during their encounter with Moondragon. They had also met Mordred the Mystic, but he had erased this from their memory. This was before the Master Magician lost his intellect, leaving him with a child's mind. As thick snow begins to fall, Bulver offers them shelter for the night, but Alicia is worried about her stepfather being lost somewhere in the storm. Somewhere in Mordred's subconscious remains an inkling of his mystic power, but at night his dreams are that of a child. Puppet Master tumbles out of the toy box with the rest of Mordred's playthings. He believes he is in a giant room and can also hear the loud snoring of the Thing. He goes to waken him. Puppet Master warns the Thing that they have been captured by giants, but it dawns on Ben that they are not in a giant's house, they have been shrunk. Alicia seems to be fine, and Ben thinks he has a good idea who has done this. Grabbing Puppet Master, he jumps off the bed and heads towards the kid's room. Puppet Master formulates a plan to sculpt a puppet of the child and force him to change them back to normal size. He managed to pocket a small amount of the radioactive clay before the giant toy soldiers captured him. Opening the door, the Thing is confronted by an army of playthings. The Thing charges at the toys, giving them a demonstration of what made Benjamin J. Grimm the darling of the college football team, as toys scatter in all directions from the Thing, with the Puppet Master trying to follow in the hole he has made in their first defence line. Battling onwards, they encounter medieval knights, toy soldiers shooting real bullets, and a fire-breathing snake that all need clobbering. Ben believes they are all part of the mystical kid's nightmares, as suddenly a giant spinning top bears down on the Thing. Puppet Master manages to warn the Thing, who manages to jump out of the way of the deadly spinning top. They both realise they cannot survive much more of this, So Ben decides to climb the dresser so that Masters can get a good look at the kid to make his clay sculpture. The Thing carries Puppet Master upwards as cannonballs from the toy soldiers explode all around the dresser. It is important that Puppet Master reaches the top, so he throws him up onto the dresser, much to his surprise. There, in relative safety, he can begin to sculpt a clay effigy of the sleeping wizard. Just then, Ben is hit by one of the cannonballs and is knocked to the floor as the toys start to overwhelm the Thing. The more he fights, the stronger the toys seem to get. Meanwhile, Puppet Master concentrates his will on the likeness of the boy, commanding him to wake up and change them back to normal size. But whether the puppet is too crude or too small, or maybe the boy is resisting, it just does not work, as a huge teddy bear takes a swipe at the Thing. The Thing wrestles with the teddy bear as Puppet Master confesses that his control works only on conscious victims. So Ben decides to leap up onto the kid's bed and wake him up by shouting in his ear. It works, and the child seems terrified of the Thing. Although awake, the toys still continue to advance in the child's waking dream. All the noise and commotion wakes Bova and Alicia in the next room. Although blind, her sensitive hearing can hear Ben shouting. Entering the room, they only see Mordred, who appears to have just had a bad dream. Alicia is unsure as to where Ben is, so Bova goes back to look for him. Alicia remains to comfort the child, but as the Thing and Puppet Master have shrunk so much now, she is unable to hear them. Bova returns, unable to find Ben. She asks Mordred if he knows where the Thing is. The child just talks about a bad monster and a bad wizard, so he sent them away. Bova realises that he is probably referring to the Thing and Puppet Master. Alicia, with a sensitive hearing, can hear something like the faint squeaking of a mouse. She feels what could be a bug crawling up into her hand. Placing Ben to her ear, the Thing manages to tell her that the kid, Mordred, used his magic to shrink him and her father. Alicia tells Bova that it was Mordred who made her father and boyfriend tiny, and that just because they look different does not mean they are bad. She loves them, just like Bova loves Mordred. She asks the kid to make them big again, and to think real hard, imagining them in his head as big again. It worked. Suddenly the Thing and Puppet Master appear back in the room, return to their normal size. Masters is so pleased with his daughter in reaching the lad. Although the Thing never doubted her, considers it is about time he spanked the kid. Alicia says not, as the child did not mean any real harm. The night passes peacefully, and as they prepare to leave in the morning, Puppet Master shows Mordred the Mystic how to make his toys come to life even when he is not asleep, although Ben wonders if that was such a good idea. Masters explains that he was very much like Mordred as a child, along with puppets as his only companions. They became his obsession, and that's when he began to treat people like puppets. Perhaps if the child learns to treat dolls like people, he will not lead the same lonely path as Puppet Master. Later that evening, they return to the pogo plane and head off back to the Baxter building. The Thing liked Baldy better as a villain, more predictable. The Puppet Master tells Grimm not to worry, as the mood will pass. Happy holidays, you all! If you enjoyed this Marvel 2-in-1 Christmas special, why not leave a comment? And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you wish to see similar content from the Retro Attic Man Cave.